Consistent with other aspects of new facility startup, it is imperative that the human element is well trained and clear on the operation of the milking center prior to the attempt to train cows. If those responsible for the milking are not clear on equipment operation, procedures, and goals to be attained, it is impossible to reach the desired destination. Too often, the training of persons in the operation of a new parlor is on the job through a system of trial and error versus a well-planned training program. Reduce stress and improve the likelihood of success. Commit to training. Unfortunately, as shown here, the amount of time devoted to training people on equipment operation is cursory at best. This can lead to miscues during the milking process, further adding to the frustration and confusion of starting up a new milking facility. First, decide who should train employees. A good trainer should have the leadership qualities of honesty, vision, inspiration, and competency. Not everyone in a position of authority should train employees. On a farm where lead employees are part of the management team, such as head milkers or foremen, it is often most effective to have these individuals train those they are responsible for. All aspects of worker training should be based on the farm's written mission statement, specific position description, duty list, and standard operating protocols, commonly known as SOPs. Employee training should also be considered as an ongoing process as opposed to a one-shot activity. Training, as well as position duties, need to be goal-based. Answer the following question in detail. What am I trying to accomplish? To be successful in employee training, explain to the employee what you want accomplished. Then, demonstrate what you want accomplished. Help the employee understand what you want. Have the employee perform the task. Evaluate the employee's performance of the task, and finally, provide immediate feedback on the employee's performance. Remember, 5 minutes of an effective demonstration is better than an hour of talk. Recommended goals for milkers to work towards include the harvest of milk in the greatest volume, in a reasonable amount of time that is clean and wholesome while minimizing the risk of teat damage and udder infections. It is helpful to consider that the milking process involves a sequence of tasks accomplished in a defined order within a reasonable timeline, each with their own critical control points that must be addressed. The most important critical control points are those that result in the harvest of quality milk by understanding and working with the cow as opposed to against her. 3 critical control points in the prep procedure is to present a teat for machine attachment that is clean, dry, and ballooned with milk. 3 critical control points for machine attachment is to attach at peak letdown, this is when the teat is ballooned with milk, with no loss of air into the system, and that results in no stall-out of milk flow between attachment and removal. Additional detail on milking procedures and associated critical control points to be attained, along with a discussion of parlor operation routine, will be addressed in a following section. Persons selected for the milking position should possess the following characteristics. They should be quiet, patient, firm but gentle, enjoy routine, consistent, motivated, be a cow linguist, positive, docile, and dependable. Given all or most of these characteristics, experience is strictly optional and is even avoided by many managers. An interest in learning is certainly more important than previous experience of undetermined or of variable quality. Extra personnel will likely be required in the parlor during the first couple of milkings. Although milking personnel should be involved in cow flow control and cow positioning in the parlor, Their main responsibility is implementing the milking procedure and parlor operation routine. The first rule of parlor milking is that those working in the parlor stay in the parlor and let the crowd gate and those assisting temporarily in the holding pen load the parlor with cows. If you walk into the holding pen, the cows will wait to come in until you do. Other persons may assist in moving slow, cautious cattle through the parlor to their parlor positions while the milkers are implementing the prep and milking routines. It may even be necessary to intermittently have helpers assisting cows into the correct positions who work in front of the parlor stalls. It is important for those milking to implement the recommended milking protocols from the first milking on. The next step to implement, perhaps at the second milking, will be for those doing the milking to load the parlor primarily with the crowd gate with reduced contribution from those assisting cows from the holding pen. The sooner the extra assistance disappears from the holding pen, the better. After the first couple of milkings, assistance to cows in the holding pen must be minimized in order to properly train the cows. This is one of these instances where short-term pain certainly results in long-term gain. Unfortunately, in many new startups, the opposite results. This will take substantial patience on the part of those in the parlor. Keep in mind, if you are willing to leave the parlor to drive cows in to be milked, they will wait for you. This both irritates you and confuses the cows.